All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're doing gentle and restorative today. I know we do sometimes a combination and sometimes we do strictly restorative. We'll probably do more restorative next week because the big full moon and lunar eclipse is coming up Monday. So next Wednesday, planned for it to be more restorative, even though we're going to get a little taste of it at the end. Today, we're going to be doing some core work. I know it's not my favorite either, but I'll try to make it fun.
That's not more on.
I'll try to make it fun.
Fun about work. I don't like it. If it works, I could care less how it feels. As long as I look good when I put clothes on, I'm good.
So my core work is not Pilates, I mean, it's not that, and it's not gonna be 100 sit-ups, so you're clear there. But I'm gonna start off with a story. The music's not. God, I feel like sometimes I'm hearing music and I'm not.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So I saw this post last week and I made a mental note of it. I was like, I want to use that at some point. And so I knew that I wanted to use it today. So I went back and referenced it, and it's from Thich Nhat Hanh. Now, I don't think this story is from Thich Nhat Hanh. It sounds like more of those Buddhist type parables. And with that being said, in at least biblical terms, Jesus spoke in parables. Well, if you study Buddhism, there's like little parables that come with that too, basically to create kind of like a moral lesson. And so here it is, it's very simple. There was a monk who lived in a monastery, and he had a lot of solitude, he had a lot of silence. But in the monastery, they were doing a lot of group meditations. Well, this one particular day, he didn't feel like he wanted the group meditation. He really felt drawn to meditating solely by himself. So he decided he was going to break away from the group. He was going to break away from the monastery grounds, and he was going to go out onto the middle of a lake. So he gets a small rowboat. He rows to the middle of the lake, and he sits in the lake, and he sits to meditate. And he ended up going into a pretty deep meditation for a couple hours. While he was in that deep meditation, though, boom, something hit his boat. And before he opened up his eyes, he felt the anger swell up inside of him, because the anger was coming up that he's out here on the boat in the middle of the lake. Obviously, this boatman is not paying any attention, and he just disrupted his meditation. So he opens his eyes, he turns in the direction of where the boat got hit, ready to yell at the boatman, only to discover no one was in the second boat. That boat had not been docked. It had no anchor, and it was floating on the water, and it just randomly hit him. So the monk realized he had no one to point blame to. And he realized that the reason why he was angry was because anger was already inside him. And that was an excuse for it to get stirred and come out. So the idea of this is we all have all the emotions inside of us. And how can we temper our anger? How can we stop the shame and the blame and the guilt and the finger pointing, whether it's to ourselves or whether it's to someone else? So that's what I want us to focus on as we're going through our practice, to be contemplative about that. One of the best things that we can do to temper our anger or to create more patience and to cultivate a sense of calm is something that we focus on over and over again in yoga, and it's the breath. So I'm going to show you a couple things that we're going to do on the floor, since you're going to be on your mat, and then we'll get started. So one of the things that we're going to be doing on our mat, and I'm just lifting my arms just so that you can see my abdomen a little bit. We're going to be working around the clock. So when I say go to 6, you're going to be lifting your low back. moving everything towards the pubic bone. And when I say go to 12, you're pushing into your feet and you're zipping the navel up towards the heart. That's going to be the 12. And then when I say work around the clock, we'll be going to 6, to 9, to 12, to 3. Do you see how I'm lifting and contracting the abdomen a little bit? And then one more thing that you'll probably need to see. We'll be lifting the arms up like this, anchoring them down, and then scrunching the shoulders up underneath the body to build up the heart. And then we'll eventually relax all that back down. Okay, so those are just 2 things that might confuse you. Go ahead and roll down to your back. And then you can discover in those first moments, do you need to have the knees bent or can you straighten out your legs? What's better for your back? If you can straighten out your legs, separate your feet about hip width, let the feet roll away from your midline. And find a comfortable position for your arms to take rest. Close the eyes. And pay attention internally to what is showing up in your body. Or maybe think about what have you felt in your body today since you awoke. And then set your intention to practice with metta, loving kindness towards yourself, specifically in those areas that need more love and attention. And then check in with your energy. Is it high? Is it low? Is it vibrant or is it dull? Again, just so that you are acquainting with yourself and understanding what you're working with. Stay on this path of self-inquiry and notice your mind. Is your mind abundant, scattered, and restless, or is it pretty calm and clear? And then start to improve the quality of your breath, breathing in and breathing out in a mindful manner. Take your hands now to rest on your abdomen. Purposely try to balloon the belly as you inhale. Let it soften and deflate as you exhale. This area that you feel swelling and bellowing as you breathe is the place where we say holds our emotional body. On your next deep breath, go ahead and walk the feet back in your direction, line the ankles up underneath the knees. And if you need your hands sitting on your belly to notice if you're working around the clock, you can keep them here. Otherwise, you can send them by the wayside. So on your inhale, we're going to create that little mini cow tilt in the low lumbar area of the back, moving towards the pubic bone, swaying and lifting the low back. And as you exhale, slightly tuck the tailbone, zip up through your midriff, and flatten the low back as you move into 12. Inhale, moving to 6. Exhale to 12. Do that a couple more rounds. Inhale to 6. Exhale to 12. Now we're gonna work clockwise. So inhale, roll to 6 again. And then take it to 9, to 12, to 3, to 6, to 9, to 12, to 3, to 6, to 9, 12, and 3. Do one more on your own. And then neutralize the belly and back and bring your arms down beside your body. As you inhale, press down through the soles of the feet, circle the arms up overhead, lifting thighs, hips, abdomen, chest, Setu Bandhasana bridge. And as you exhale, you're going to gently roll down one vertebra at a time, but when your sacrum anchors, the feet are going to lift and you're going to curl in like a cannonball, hands reaching towards the feet. Inhale, lining up on your back, circling the arms overhead, grounding the feet, charging into your hamstrings, glutes, and back. Setu Bandhasana, and as you exhale, roll it down for bridge. Contract the core and curl in, nose towards knees. Right, we're going to continue this flow of movement. Inhale, open and expand the front of the body. Exhale and curl in like a cannonball. 2 more. And last one. From this abdominal breath flow here, just gently lower the head and the feet. Now this is where we're going to do the second one I demonstrated. So lift the arms straight up towards the ceiling. This is a modified pitch. Bring the arms and push them down alongside your ribs so that you can lift your shoulders and tuck and squeeze them under the body. The arms are the platform. Your throat slowly gaps open, nothing extreme. Your heart picks up. Breathe and swim around in your heart. Affirming my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. As you exhale, gently flatten the low back. Now, if you were here on Monday, we worked the glutes a lot. Pick up your feet and let them barely hover above the floor so that your knees stay aligned over your hips. You're going to send your arms out nice and wide, shoulder height. And as you exhale, you're going to lean your knees over to the left. At least a fraction of the way or halfway towards the floor to massage the buttocks, and then draw back through center. And then lean the knees to the right, a fraction, a portion, or halfway. And you're just gently rolling through center, back to the left, through center, and over to the right. So it's massaging some of the glute muscles in the buttocks. You may even feel some sensitivity in the piriformis. In case you were sore from Monday, we're going to work a little bit of that out. If you ever get one of those pinky balls or a tennis ball, it's actually really nice to put under the hip and the buttocks when you're doing this. so that you can dig a little bit more into that piriformis. The next time you roll to the left, go ahead and send your knees and feet to the floor. Discover whether or not you want to keep your head still or if you want to turn your head to one shoulder or the other. Keep lounging with your arms splayed open, taking the supine twist, reclaiming and reactivating your breath. So twists are good for all 7 of the energy fields, but it is a primary pose for the 3rd chakra, or the core of the body. This is also good for the gallbladder meridian, which ties back to the liver. And emotions like anger, resentments, frustrations. So feel as though you're breathing patience in, you're breathing any anger or frustration away. Inhale and slowly bring the legs through center. Exhale, roll them over to the right. You go at that slow pace, you're getting 1 extra massage on that side. Now, if you ever have a more sensitivity in your low back, it could be that you're tightly woven on that side. It could be creating a gap between the legs, or you may need a prop to go under your knees or in between your thighs. So check in. And then affirm mentally within. New life and a new state of consciousness is flowing throughout my being. So the story goes on about that monk. So he realized in that moment that anger resided in him. And from that point on, if any person ever aggravated him, he would look at them as being just another empty boat. He realized he was only responsible for the anger. And it was up to him to let it go, to move on, to not hold a grudge. So move the wave of the breath up through the left side here. On your next exhalation, let's go ahead and bring that left hand over to the right side. Push down through the left palm and slowly build up. We're going to transfer to hands and knees now. This is where if your mat's not very thick, or if you're not on carpet at home, you can add in a blanket. Once you stack onto your hands and knees, we're going to do some cat-cow. So as you inhale, create your cow. And as you exhale, suction the belly in, hide the heart away, and bow the head. Go at a nice, slow, controlled pace, slowing down the breath, allowing the movement to follow, and perhaps beginning at the low back, and bending your way through the spine into the neck. So obviously, when you hollow out the belly, that is a deep contraction in the core. It's a good strengthener for the core, but also can tap us into our inner strength, resilience, and perseverance. This is our place of empowerment. This is our place of confidence. After the next cat stretch, though, we're going to flatten the back to return to tabletop position. But we're not done with core work. We're going to inhale, extend the right leg back.
When you extend the right leg back, you're reaching the heel towards the wall behind you. The toes are turned down, the hips are teed up, sacrum's pretty even. You're using your arms like columns, but notice the action in the belly. Notice even though it's not contracting, it has to firm up. We're doing a different set of muscles here. These are the transverse abdominis muscles. Versus when we contract, the rectus abdominis muscles. Now we're gonna press through the ball of the right foot, lift it up just a little bit higher as you look forward into the room. And then as you exhale, you're gonna contract and curl the nose towards the knee. All right, inhale, you're lifting the right leg, pressing through the ball of the foot, looking out ahead. So it's different than the static hold. And then exhale, draw in. 3 more. And then after that third one, lower the right knee down, sit back towards your hips. Keep your right arm extended at first, flip your left palm open. You're gonna thread it underneath, but we're gonna do something different today. You're gonna lower towards your left temple, but you're gonna slide your right fingertips back in front of your face. So it's kind of like a thing hand. You're gonna keep the right elbow flying up, and you're gonna use that arm and hand to help you to twist just slightly deeper. So you may not be on the left temple anymore, because when you start pushing into that hand and you start turning towards that left shoulder blade, your forehead may lift up slightly. And you may be resting on that place more or less closer to the ear. Take one last breath. Now, as you exhale, lower back to your left cheek and temple. Let go with the right arm and thread the right arm behind your back. So you're actually laying your weight onto your shins and the back of the left arm and the side of the face. And your right arm is just looped behind. Take 3 more deep breaths. If this was yin, we could hold it, but it's not yin today. Now go ahead and take the right hand back down. Slowly unwind that left arm, rock back up to hands and knees. That gave us a moment of a break from weight bearing in our wrists, but now we're gonna get back into that flow. Inhale, extend your left leg behind you. There's dorsiflexion in the ankle. You're pushing through the heel. The toes are turned down. The hips are square. And the belly's firm. Now press into the ball of the left foot. Lift the foot slightly higher. Lift your face. Look into the roof. And then exhale, contract and curl in. Continue with 4 more. I'm just doing a set of 5. Be slow and deliberate. Build strength and awareness. Let it be a moving meditation. And once you've done the 5, you can lower the knee. You can sit back towards your hips. You can flip your right hand, loop it underneath, but then slide your left fingertips back. Push into that hand. Roll a little bit more into the twist. So if this position is not great for your knees, you can always do thread the needle
from tabletop instead. Now exhale, relax that grip, lower to the right temple, and take the left arm and loop it behind your back. Feel free to close the eyes at this point and just melt into it. Surrender. Once the left hand comes back down, you can inhale, unwind that right arm. Slide both hands in front of you. Keep your head up. Arch the hands and then creep and crawl the fingertips a little farther away on each side. And then rock up to hands and knees, flattening the palms, curling the toes, launching into downward facing dog. When you arrive to downward facing dog, focus on the foundation and then build up from there. Set your gaze. Breathe well. I love that expression, breathe well, live well. So on your next in breath, we're going to travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Lower down, folding in half. Uttanasana. Cater to your needs. If you need a different expression or a different approach. Firming here as you hold nothing, no one on this earth can hold you down or back. Blame or shame. I'm willing to trust and surrender. On your next in breath, root down through the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Come to Urdhva. Exhale, fold straight down the middle. Once you come into your Uttanasana again, you're going to inhale, step your left foot way back. And if you need your blocks, feel free to grab them and place them on either side of the right foot. So you're lunging that front knee, your vertebrae is extended, you're looking out with your eyes, your back eye's off the floor. Now this is just the beginning point. We're going to go into a little flow. So step down with your back knee, come to the tips of the middle fingers and lift your head and heart. As you exhale, drop your thumbs, scoop in through the belly, lift your back thigh, bow the hip towards the knee. Inhale, lower the back knee, come to the tips of the fingers and open up your heart and look out with your eyes. Exhale, drop your thumbs, scoop into the belly and round the back. And then slowly descend the back knee, untop the back toes, and bring it back to tables. From tabletop position, shift forward and come down like Ashtangasanan. Inhale, thread through to Bhujangasana or Cobra. Lengthen through the legs, keep the feet on the floor, and breathe again in that mindful manner, in a diaphragmatic way. Lifting on the in-breath, slight dissension on the out-breath. Now on your next inhale,
Push up to the table, curl the toes, lunge into Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. We're keeping this in more of that gentle format. Walk and travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Drape down and into your standing forward fold. Loosen your neck. Let the heaviness of the head go. Let your arms straight down. Feel safe, feel held, feel supported by your breath. All right, we're going to take that to the other side. Inhale, step your right leg back. Lunge that front knee, lengthen out through the vertebrae. Look out with the eyes, just holding this position a moment. And then we'll set the back knee to the floor. So if you need the blocks, absolutely use them. But we're lifting up onto the tips of the middle fingers so that we can create, it's almost like a little bitty cow tilt, slight, minor. Drop the thumbs, lift the back knee, scoop in through the core and round out. A little bit of a cat stretch in the lunge. And then inhale, descend the knee. Lift the thumbs, lift the crown. Exhale. Round it out. One more. Now this time, keep the back knee off the floor. Step back into your plank position. Even plank requires core work. Keep the belly hugging in. Keep your heart shining forward and your heels settling back. All right, last downward facing dog. Push up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let the head hang between the upper arm bones, gaze in the direction of the feet. Refresh the skin of the face. Right, exhale, we're descending to the knees. And we're going to come down onto the seat. Loosen the legs out to the front. And we're going to re-bend the knees, but we're not going to stack ankles below the knees. We're going to have them ahead of the knees. Coming back to core work, arms lift. Exhale, belly pulls in as you round it back. Inhale, come back to the top. Exhale, bring the arms down to the left. Scoop into the left side of the obliques. Inhale up. Exhale through the middle. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. We're building up for both pose. Inhale. Exhale to the middle. Inhale to the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the middle. Almost done with this series. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Contract the right side of the obliques. Inhale, exhale, we're completing it through the middle. Now, catch the back of your thighs and inhale, slowly come up. All right. We're going to lift the hands up underneath the crease of the knees. We're going to lean onto the back part of the sits bones, and we're ready for half boat. Which empty boat has rocked into you lately? Keep your shins parallel to the floor. Maybe release your hands, that's not as gentle, but you can try to amp it up if you prefer. All right, we're gonna give ourselves a little break here. Feet together, knees apart. Lift your head up and exhale, fold. Adho Mukha.
Working into the inner thighs, opening up in the hips. Giving a little break to the core. And now I'm thinking Bob Marley. Don't rock my boat, 'cause I don't want my boat to be rocked. You remember that song?
Yeah.
If I would have thought about that earlier, we could listen to it. Yeah. Inhale, slowly come up. All right, hands under the knees, lift the knees back up. Feet more ahead again, because that will help us with balance here. We're going in a different way. Lace your hands behind your right thigh. Shoulders back, heart shining. Slowly lift the right foot. Now, if you can keep the leg at the same height, you can try to do it this way. You may want that assistance. But regardless if you're using hands or not, make sure you're using not just the hip flexors, but the core. All right, release that side. All right, left side, poke around the left thigh. Shoulders back, heart up. Maybe release the hands if it really drops. That's okay, but are you still using your core? Good, and release. We're not doing the full throttle because this is gentle. If you can, come down to your forearms or elbows. And instead of letting the belly sink, see if you can lift the belly and your chest. Slowly lift both legs. This is a more gentle way to do full boat. Good, now lower the legs. So they're about, I don't know, a ruler distance above the floor. And then drop down into your low back. You have to squeeze the belly in, that zipping action, to lower the low back and reach the arms. 3 breaths here. And then at the conclusion, lower the head, hug the knees. Hopefully your bolster is in close range, because I would like the bolster to go under your thighs so that you can stretch the legs over it. Now I know this isn't gentle or available for everyone, but if it does feel gentle and available, I want your arms to be splayed up, kind of like a Y shape while you're in this position. Because that's gonna open up the core. If that is troublesome to the shoulders, you can rest your hands on your abdomen. Close and rest your eyes, and I'm gonna dim the overhead lights. This is where we're gonna begin our restoration. So bring your attention down into your feet. And please relax. The toes, the arches, and the ankles of both feet. Bring softness into your calves, knees, and thighs.
Relax the hips, the buttocks, the pelvic floor. Now that you've focused on the lower body, bring your attention into the upper body. Let go of any gripping or contracting in your core, so that the belly is soft and available to rise up as you breathe in, allowing it to retract as you breathe out. Soften your chest and watch it rise and fall. Relaxing your shoulders, softening your arms, hands and fingers. Relax your throat, your neck, let the head rest. Let go of expression on the face. Even soften your attachment to your sensory organs. We're going to come into that round angle by bringing the feet together on top of the bolster with the knees splayed open. This is too intense for your inner thighs or hips to have the feet on top. All you have to do is stay in that same position, but just send the feet to the floor on the opposite side of the bolster. That way you can cater to any tightness you might be experiencing today. So what we witness happening around us, in the world and in the news, with the fear and the negativity and the falsehoods, it's just the old, dense energy surfacing and being stirred so that it can be risen, seen, and evaluated. Don't despair, but stay in the question. Rise above and keep trusting in the divine order and divine plan. Rise above duality and polarity and come back to this practice that helps us to reunite. Rise above any triggers and traumas. Rise above any guilt, blame, or shame, so that you keep rising up into the light Be like the lotus, who has its roots in mud, who comes up through the murky water, surfacing over the rim of the water to grow towards the sunlight. Continue to administer a breathing treatment for yourself. Bring it under your command for 5 more rounds of breath. And then turn one knee up. And turn the other knee up. And stack the feet on the bolster if they're not already. Roll the weight to one side of your body. So we're going to set up for our final position. So I'm going to give you a choice. You may want a back bend with the blocks under the knees like this. This is actually comfortable. I like the blanket hanging out over the belly here though. And your second option is to create a slide. So we could stack the blocks in this way. Here. In this situation, I like the belly or the blanket, I should say, over the thighs or under the knees. Take your time setting up, getting your body just right. So now that we've been moving more into restorative type positions, seal your eyes. Take that journey within. As you take the journey within, even though we have an array of emotions that may have been pushed down, restored, invited in, or ignored, I want you to try to attempt to drop into your heart of hearts. To that place within that embodies love, so that love can override the others. So that love can dissolve any anger. So that love and compassion can dissolve any guilt, shame, or blame. Forgiveness is an act of love. Letting things go is an act of love. Being in that state of love, there's a whole lot of freedom. So liberate yourself through this embodiment of love for the next few minutes. To awaken our breath. Activate some movement in your hands and feet. Eventually exiting the pose that you chose. I'd like you to find your bolster to sit on the edge. With your hands open on your lap. Eyelids turned down. Tuning your awareness in and up. In silence together, holding space together. A gentle reminder, when the boat gets rocked, come back to your center. Whenever you get angry, take a deep breath and return to your center. Hold all the emotions inside, but it doesn't mean we have to lash out. We can transmute it to a higher, more positive frequency. And hopefully this practice allowed you to do that today. Join your palms together to Anjali. The light within me honors and bows to the beautiful light that you hold within yourself. May we all allow that light to shine. For the rest of the day. Thank you. I believe this Sunday,